The final of the 2026 FIFA World Cup has arrived. On the biggest stage in world football, two historic national teams filled with world-class talent are ready for a special confrontation. Spain versus Argentina. On one side is Spain's technical football, possession, and tactical organization. On the other is Argentina's character, experience, and attacking power. Before the match officially begins. And now, we move across to the other side of the pitch. Argentina's opponent is the Spain national team with a different tactical structure. Spain has also organized its lineup across the attack, midfield, defense, and goal. Let's now examine the Spanish formation position by position, beginning with the attacking line and gradually moving deeper toward the defensive end of the pitch. Leading the attack for Spain are Mikel Oyarzabal and Lamine Yamal. The two players are positioned on opposite sides of the attacking line, ready to provide width and create different attacking options. One brings experience and the ability to operate in dangerous areas, while the other offers pace, creativity, and the potential to produce moments of individual brilliance. Spain begins its attacking threat through the two wide areas at the front of the formation. In midfield, Spain places Alex Baena and Martin Zubimendi in the wide positions. In the central areas are Pedri and Dani Olmo. This line is responsible for controlling the tempo of the match, connecting the different areas of the team, and moving the ball forward. With a combination of technical ability, intelligent movement, and tactical awareness, Spain's midfield could become one of the key areas in this battle against Argentina. At the back, Spain places Pau Cubarsí and Pedro Porro in the wide defensive positions. In the central areas are Marc Cucurella and Aymeric Laporte. Together, these four players form the defensive structure in front of the goalkeeper, responsible for controlling space and stopping Argentina's attacking movements. This will be the line facing the direct threat of Lionel Messi, Julian Alvarez, and the full attacking force of Argentina. In goal for Spain is Unai Simon. He represents the final line of defense, positioned behind the back line and ready to face the most dangerous shots of the match. From the goalkeeper all the way to the attacking line, Spain's starting formation is now complete. Every position has been defined, every line has been organized, and the confrontation with Argentina is ready to begin. And now, let's take a closer look at the starting formation of the Argentina national team. One of the most historic teams in world football enters the match with a clearly organized structure divided across the defensive line, midfield, and attack. Every player has been assigned a specific tactical position, creating the foundation for Argentina's approach to the game. Let's go through the lineup step by step, beginning at the back of the pitch and moving forward toward the attack. In goal for Argentina is Emiliano Martinez as the goalkeeper. Martinez represents the final line of defense, positioned behind the entire defensive structure and ready to respond to every dangerous situation. From this position, Argentina begins to build its defensive shape, with the goalkeeper protecting the most important area on the pitch, the space directly in front of the goal. In front of Emiliano Martinez is Argentina's defensive line. Christian Romero and Nicolas Tagliafico occupy the wide positions, providing defensive coverage along both sides of the pitch. In the central positions are Lisandro Martinez and Nahuel Molina, forming the inner part of the defensive structure. Together, these four players create Argentina's main defensive line, protecting the space in front of the goal and maintaining the team's overall shape. Moving into midfield. Argentina places Enzo Fernandez and Leandro Paredes in the wide midfield positions. In the central positions are Alexis Mack, Alistair, and Giuliano Simeone. This area plays a crucial role in connecting the defense with the attack. From midfield, Argentina can build possession, develop attacking movements, and quickly change the rhythm of the game whenever an opportunity appears. Leading the attack for Argentina are Lionel Messi and Julian Alvarez. The two forwards are positioned on opposite sides of the attacking line, forming Argentina's main offensive threat. With Messi, the ability to create something special can appear at any moment. Julian Alvarez adds pace, movement, and the ability to attack open spaces. Argentina completes its formation with an attacking combination capable of creating danger from multiple areas of the pitch. The system begins setting up the Spain lineup. First, Pedri is selected and moved from the substitute area into midfield. Once the player has been placed in the correct tactical zone, the system selects Pedri again and adjusts his position within midfield. Next, Martin Zubimendi is selected from the substitute area and moved into midfield. The system then continues by adjusting Martin Zubimendi's position within the midfield zone. His position is adjusted once again in the same area to complete the initial formation setup. After the positioning operations are complete, the system opens Mikel Oyarzabal's player data. At this point, the parameter adjustment process officially begins, preparing the player's input values for inspection and configuration. For Mikel Oyarzabal, the system begins adjusting the form parameter. The value is first reduced to 0, then raised to 5 to test the configuration response, before being lowered and stabilized at 4. Once the final value is confirmed, the configuration is applied. Next comes Lamine Yamal. The system opens the player's data and adjusts his form rating to 5, then fine-tunes it down to 4 to complete the setup. After the final value is confirmed, the new configuration is applied. The system then selects Alex Baena for inspection. His player information is opened and the current parameters are reviewed. The data is found to be suitable with no values requiring adjustment, so the existing configuration is confirmed and applied directly. The system then moves on to Pedri, Dani Olmo, and Martin Zubimendi. For each player, the system opens the individual player information, reviews the active parameters, and confirms that the data is suitable for the model. No adjustments are required, so each player's current configuration is kept unchanged and applied. Next, Pau Cubarsí is selected for inspection. The system reviews his profile and confirms that the data meets the requirements. Marc Cucurella is then opened for a full review of his current parameters. The configuration remains stable and is applied without changes. Aymeric Laporte is checked in the same way with no updates required. Pedro Porro is then opened and reviewed, and his parameters are confirmed to be suitable. Finally, the system moves to goalkeeper Unai Simon to begin a separate adjustment process. For Unai Simon, the system opens the player's information and begins adjusting the form parameter. The value is raised to 5 and then reduced to 4 to establish the final configuration. After reviewing the configured value, the system confirms and applies the goalkeeper's settings. With this, the entire Spain setup process is complete. The process has included moving Pedri and Martin Zubimendi into midfield, adjusting Martin Zubimendi's position, and inspecting and applying the data for each player. The players requiring changes, including Mikel Oyarzabal, Lamine Yamal, and Unai Simon, have been fully adjusted. The players requiring no changes have also been reviewed, confirmed, and applied with their existing configurations. The system now moves on to setting up the Argentina lineup. Giuliano Simeone is selected and moved from the substitute area into the forward zone. Once the player has been placed in the correct area, the system selects Giuliano Simeone again and adjusts his position within the forward zone. Next, Alexis Mac Allister is moved from the substitute area into midfield. Leandro Paredes is then selected and moved from the substitute area into midfield. Enzo Fernandez is subsequently moved into the same midfield area to complete the initial formation structure. Once the positioning operations are complete, the system opens Giuliano Simeone's player data to begin inspecting and adjusting his match-related parameters. For Giuliano Simeone, the system begins the form adjustment process. The value is reduced to 1 and then increased to 4 to establish the final configuration. After reviewing the selected value, the system confirms and applies the setting. Next comes Lionel Messi. The system opens the player's information and begins adjusting his form rating by lowering it to 4 and then raising it to 5. Once the final value is confirmed, Messi's configuration is applied. The system then selects Julian Alvarez for adjustment. His form rating is reduced to 3 and then raised to 4. The system subsequently opens Julian Alvarez's data again to begin another inspection cycle, matching the separate event recorded in the log. This is an independent operation and must remain in the script. The system moves to Leandro Paredes and opens his player information for inspection. After reviewing the parameters, the data is confirmed to be suitable for the model. No values require adjustment, so the current configuration is applied. Next comes Alexis Mac Allister. The system opens his profile, reviews the active parameters, and confirms that the data meets the requirements. The existing configuration is kept unchanged and applied. Enzo Fernandez is then selected for inspection. The system reviews his information, finds no changes required to the current ratings, and applies the existing configuration. Christian Romero is then open for a separate data review. His parameters remain stable and require no adjustment. Lisandro Martinez is also checked in an individual inspection cycle with no changes required. Finally, Nahuel Molina is selected, his information is opened, and his parameters are confirmed to meet the model's requirements. The system moves on to Nicolas Tagliafico for an adjustment. After opening the player's information, the form parameter is increased to 4. The new value is reviewed, confirmed, and applied. Finally, the system moves to goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez. His player data is opened and the form adjustment begins. The rating is raised to 5 and then reduced to 4 to complete the final configuration. After reviewing the final value, the system confirms and applies the complete setup. With this, the Argentina processing sequence is fully complete, including the movements of Giuliano Simeone, Alexis Mac Allister, Leandro Paredes, and Enzo Fernandez, along with all inspection, adjustment, and configuration application steps for each player in the exact order recorded in the log. Both teams have now completed their starting formations. Argentina brings a lineup filled with players capable of making a difference in every area of the pitch. Spain responds with a team built around technical quality, movement, and control. On one side is Argentina's attacking power, on the other is Spain's structure and ability to combine. Everything is ready. The final positions have been confirmed, the formations are complete. Now the stage belongs to the match.